This might be a little controversial to say, but there's a difference between physically having balls swinging between your legs and actually feeling like a man. You know, for me, I thought that once I finally moved out of my parents' place and I was working a job with a salary, then I'd feel like a man, right? And then later on, I thought, you know, actually, once I'm making over 70K per year, or once I'm able to bench press 2 plates on each side for 10 reps, then I'll be a real man. But none of that truly worked because deep down, I still felt unsure of myself, unsure what path I should take in life. When things didn't go my way, I was emotionally reactive and I lost my cool. I just felt a bit powerless, I guess. And looking back, it wasn't until I started living by these 5 rules of manhood, as I like to call them. And unfortunately, these are things that no one teaches us. But once I got these locked down one by one, everything clicked for me. These are not easy, but they're the truth. Let's get it. So let me ask you a question, bro. Are you generally an honest person, or sometimes do you lie to other people? I think most of us think that we're honest people and we don't maliciously, intentionally lie to take advantage of other people. Maybe some of y'all do, I hope not. But I think all of us lie in subtle ways that we don't even realize on a day-to-day basis. Like maybe you and your girl have some tension between you. She's doing something that bothers you. And then she asks you, hey, how's it going? And you say, I'm doing good. It's going okay. Maybe you lie to your friends about how hard you've been grinding lately. Or worst of all, I think we lie to ourselves. And maybe you tell yourself, life's doing good. I'm okay. I'm making progress. I used to do this shit to myself all the time where I would tell myself, you should be happy, man. You got a good life. You're smart. You got good grades in school. You have a career job. A lot of people your age don't have a job. You should be good. You're killing it, bro. And look, it is good to be grateful for the things we have. But really, I was hiding. I was afraid. I was hiding from the fact that if I continued down the trajectory I was on, I was going to spend the next 10, 20 years going to a job that I hated every day, that was draining the energy out of me. If I continued down the same trajectory I was on, avoid taking risks with women, that I was going to die lonely and single. And that's rule number 1. Tell the truth when it's easier to lie. Look, real manhood begins when our identity is no longer built on managing other people's perceptions of us, and when we prioritize the truth above all else, and we embrace the truth, especially when it's inconvenient or when it's uncomfortable or when it's going to make us look bad. Like when I was finally able to let down this fucking facade because I was so fragile of what other people were going to think, and I was able to just always say, you know what? Yeah, guys, I suck with girls. I've been too afraid to admit that to y'all before, speaking to my friends, but I suck with girls. So when we go out, I'm going to be trying to talk to girls. And I'm no longer ashamed of that, bro. And starting to live like this is the most freeing thing that I've ever done. I've never felt more confident in myself because now I'm not afraid and stressing that they're going to find out that I'm a loser. Now, bro, if there's something that I suck at, not only am I going to tell you that I suck at it and own up, but I'm already going to be working on improving. And if there's some problem between me and you, rather than trying to beat around the bushes and hope that it doesn't come to the surface, I'm just going to call it out so we can deal with that shit and put it behind us, man. Gains, bro. Workout complete. The recovery, the rebuild from my lumbar disc surgery continues. I'll have an update for y'all in Thursday's video. That being said, rule number 2 is to put yourself in a room that exposes you. Because look, if you're watching this video, that means you're on the path to self-improvement. And that's, more than 90% of guys will ever do. You're consciously deciding you want to improve your life. But if you're just watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts, well, you're playing it safe. There's no risk there. Real transformation is not safe and it requires taking risks. I can remember when I first decided I wanted to improve my life. This is 10 years ago now. I'd be driving into work in my 9-to-5 job, had like an hour and a half commute, and I would listen to these Tony Robbins audiobooks, and they got me pumped up and excited to set big goals for myself. I felt like I was meant to accomplish big things, and I'd be sitting there feeling like, man, I'm enlightened versus all my friends who are just average dudes who aren't striving for greatness like me. And meanwhile, what was I doing? The same thing as them, right? I was going to work, going home, going to the gym. I wasn't actually taking any risks. I didn't become a man until I got around other guys who would call out my BS face to face and not let me make any excuses. That the right people force you to be honest, because if you're just relying on feedback from family members and old friends, they're gonna let you off the hook, bro, because they're trying to be nice. They're prioritizing your feelings over your future, and they're gonna tell you things like, "Oh man, don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing good. Oh, fuck that girl, bro. You'll find a better one anyway. You didn't do anything wrong." You need people who will genuinely challenge you, because the discomfort that comes when we're challenged, that's the number one thing that forced me to grow. Because no longer could I let women step over my boundaries, or I'd get called out for it. I couldn't send some weak ass text message simping for a girl. I'd get called out for it. No longer was I able to accept mediocre financial results in my life, because I knew that it was possible to do more. I couldn't play it safe anymore. Even if I could lie to myself, I couldn't lie when I finally had guys around me who were trying to grow themselves and also actually wanted to see me grow. And if you don't have this type of raw masculine accountability in your life right now, well, I want to help you get that solved this week, because on Wednesday, we're doing an exclusive one-time live Zoom call where you can hop on and speak with me directly. It's completely free. Normally, this type of thing is reserved for the guys in Beast Nation, but I wanted to make sure anyone who's watching this YouTube video can take advantage of this to get to that next level. And not only will you be able to speak with me directly, ask me any questions you have, we'll be doing a giveaway, $500 in cash prizes, and I'm also going to share with you a secret exercise that's allowed me to break past all of my sticking points in the past, even all the way back to the Boston days when I was afraid to quit my 9-to-5 job, when I was not sure how to launch this YouTube channel, when I was afraid of making the big move from Boston down to Texas, even to when I launched my first business, Edge Lifestyle, with no prior business experience. This exercise is what not only gave me the confidence, but also the game plan to make all of these things happen and actually be successful. And I'll even be calling a few guys up and challenging them to go through this exercise step by step live on the call. It's happening this Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. It's a one-time event. There's no replays. There's no do-overs. So link in description to register now. You have to click that link to register and get the Zoom link. I'll talk to y'all on Wednesday. So there's a lot of YouTube videos in the masculinity sphere that focus on female weaknesses, but I want to talk about one male weakness that I think all of us can agree on, and that is the fact that every guy is a gangster with women until he catches feelings, right?
Never catch feelings, that's what I told myself.
Every guy knows exactly what to do in every situation. Every guy has strong boundaries and standards, would never let a woman disrespect you until you catch feelings. Then 90% of guys, probably 95% of guys, they fold and they simp. And I was no exception, bro. There was a lot of times back when I started pursuing women that I'd lock down a first date with this super hot girl, and I'd be excited, but I'd still be like, bitch, she got to prove herself to me, man. Then I'd go on the date would go well, we'd kiss at the end, and then I'd be texting her to set up the second date, and she'd go cold. Man, there was a period I couldn't get a second date, and in those moments, I'd always start texting her more, trying to set up the date, and that Sigma male gangster bullshit, man, it went right out the window. And that's number 3. At least one time in your life, you must walk away from a woman you deeply desire because she crossed the line. It's not about arguing with her or letting her know that you shouldn't have disrespected me, now I'm gone. No, it's about calmly leaving. Because, bro, that silence will haunt her far more than any words you could say. You know, there's a girl I met once I started getting second dates. She was a 10 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. I was downtown Boston at the Equinox. I see her stretching on the mat. I approach her, set up a date. We go on a few dates. We hook up. We start to see each other regularly. And then she just started going crazy, man. She would start blaming me for random shit I had nothing to do with, texting me in the middle of the night, flaking on plans last minute. And I cut it off. I said, look, I've enjoyed hanging out with you, and I really did enjoy hanging out with her, bro. I didn't want to stop. You know, the thing between my legs definitely didn't want to stop. But I said, I have to move on, and I wish you the best. And bro, I'd never seen a woman beg like that. For weeks afterwards, she was hitting me up constantly. I had to block her number. And even though it was tough to stay disciplined, after that, I just moved differently with the women from the moment that I met them. I just moved differently, and no longer did I hesitate to set those boundaries or to back off and give the relationship space when things weren't going the right way. It changes how you move. Rule number 4, invest time into something that doesn't pay you yet. I think when we go to the gym, we all understand. We might not like it, but we understand that we're doing reps today to build muscle that we're going to see next year, right? We know that you don't just like each rep you do, the muscle doesn't get bigger. Maybe it pumps up in the moment, but you get the point. But unfortunately, a lot of us men, we stay like children. We want this instant gratification. We want these instant results, and that causes us to avoid ever building anything meaningful, right? We'll take the short-term cash. We'll take the job that pays us enough to get by today rather than building something that could make us wealthy in the future. And I first learned this lesson in my life when I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I actually started a YouTube channel. I uploaded a few early videos. I didn't stay consistent because I wasn't getting any views. Then I started a podcast with the homie Dave. Didn't stay consistent because we weren't getting enough downloads. Then I started posting on Instagram and Facebook. I wasn't getting that much feedback. I was trying to launch these courses and this coaching or these workout programs to a small audience of a couple thousand email subscribers. And of course, I wasn't making any money. I was bringing home like $20K per year for a couple years. And the only time that I gained serious momentum is when I started investing into something that didn't pay me back yet. Is when I made the decision that this year, this was the year of 2017, I said, this year, I'm going to forget about making any money. I had enough money saved up for my corporate job that I could do this, but I'm not going to worry about making a single penny. I'm just going to focus on making really good YouTube content, and we'll see what happens. And guess what, bro? After 8 months, it wasn't after 2 months, after 8 months of focusing on uploading 2 YouTube videos per week, better videos each week, that's when the channel caught on. And I started looking at my analytics like, shit, I got another 1,000 subscribers yesterday. What the fuck is happening? And then sponsors started to reach out. And then when I launched my next workout programs, I actually made, 10, 20K that week instead of, $2,000 over a month. And it was all because I learned probably the hardest lesson of manhood. The most valuable things in life, they require you to invest time and to have faith that down the line it's going to pay you back. If you keep going for these short-term cash grabs, bro, you're going to be in the same spot you are now. Next year, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. It takes time to build. So another harsh fact of life that I think 100% of y'all will agree with. That's pretty rare in 2025 that 100% of people agree on anything. But I think especially the older, wiser viewers who are probably wiser than myself will agree on this. And that is that life is suffering. There's not a single path in life you can take that's going to avoid suffering. The difference is that most guys suffer down the path of least resistance, where they go through, weak jobs that they hate, investing most of their life into something that's meaningless to them, bad relationships where there's constant tension and resentment, quiet addiction cycles. But even if you decide to start a business, guess what, bro? That's still going to be suffering. That's probably some of the most suffering in my life. There's months, if not years, of unpaid work, long nights where you're not sure if you're following the right path, and then you end up wasting a big percentage of your net worth trying to get this business off of the ground. It's painful. If you decide you want to finally get your dating life sorted out, it sucks, man, because you have to now put yourself out there with women, get rejected, you get this confirmation that, fuck, I'm not an attractive guy, these girls don't value me, maybe I shouldn't even try, maybe it's just less painful to be alone. Eventually, if you stick with it, of course, you'll figure it out. But there's no way to avoid suffering. And that's rule number 5. A man chooses his suffering consciously. He chooses his pain. Rather than just asking, Which of these paths is easiest, he asks. Which of these paths is more worth suffering for? Which one of these gets me to the desired end result that I want? And not just in a selfish way, but which of these paths get me the most beneficial results also for my family or for those people around me? And here's the thing, man. Here's the one thing I want you to take from this video if you take nothing else. If you set a goal for yourself in life and you genuinely pursue it, you think about what's the next action step I need to take, and you take that, and then you reevaluate. Okay, now what's the next action step I need to take? If you set a goal for yourself and you pursue it, there's only two ways that it ends. Either one, you achieve that goal, or two, you quit before achieving that goal. The decision is yours. If you actually have persistence and discipline, there's no goal in my life that I haven't reached because I got unlucky or because it just wasn't meant for me. Nah, every goal from YouTube to business to moving to women, I've reached every goal that I've set for myself and not given up on. Of course, there's goals that I've set for myself and, after a few months or a few days or a few years, thought, I don't know if this is for me, man. I'm just not going to do it. And then I failed and I quit. But there's only two outcomes. Either you reach the goal or you quit before you get there. That all being said, reminder, the free call is on Wednesday. Link in description to register for that. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you for watching. Don't stop watching now. You can click right there to see a video that YouTube thinks you're going to like. They've intelligently selected that one just for you, bro. Click there to watch that now, and I will talk to y'all on Wednesday, and then I'll see you in the video on Thursday. Stay beastly.